we are back. War of the Crow Season 2, the game where we play Blades in the dark. And we are back to our normal programming where we actually play the game today. No more sitting around talking about stuff. We want to go and shoot people and stab things. Right, team?
Yeah! Yeah, although I might take a short break from murder. Just,
no.
You know, just for a mo.
It's the all-cutter party now. We've all got it.
Cowboys.
Everything is in skirmish now.
I've transferred all of your skill points to skirmish from now on.
Yes, so we will be moving on to downtime and then working out some free time. How you guys are going to start tackling this docks situation, who knows? But Friedrich, who arguably had the biggest change recently, missed out on the mid-session check-in, and I believe you have some answers for Friedrich. I can get the little sheet up again. So, take it away, if you will.
Take it away.
I will. Sure. So, I've made some notes to this stuff. Are you still enjoying your character? Yes, I'm enjoying my character very much. As long-time followers of the show will know, I'm not the most character backstory preparedness high-scoring player. But I've enjoyed adding stuff to Friedrich as we've gone, and kind of encountering stuff that's developed him. Mechanical changes, I don't think I want to do any big mechanical changes to Friedrich. The main thing that I'm doing at the moment is wanting to get a few more points in speech-related areas so that he can be a bit more of the silver-tongued devil that he kind of always should have been. I think I basically, at the beginning of Blades in the Dark, I didn't know how much to expect combat and kind of put some stuff in things that were going to be combat-y, and then found that the things that Friedrich actually wanted to do as a beautiful, charismatic, well-dressed German aristocrat was be a face, and I didn't have the skills for that. So he's developing those, and I'm pretty happy with that. Core skill set, I'm still happy for him to just be a break-in and entry specialist. He's a cat burglar, and he's going through some stuff right now, but he's still being quite good at being a cat burglar and enjoys it very much. And that's quite useful when we're, criminals. So I'm happy with his mechanics mainly. Aspects to explore more. I mean, I'll talk a bit about his story that's changing, and that's the main thing. But mechanics-wise, I think I'd like to try on my side to think of a bit more creative ways to use his skills in information gathering, because I don't feel like I've done that very often. I've sort of tried bits of walking up and down roads and trying to overhear shit, or scoping out entry points to buildings, but it's been a bit sort of, I don't know, milquetoast. Quite like to do a bit more like burglarizing as part of invasive information gathering. So that's a bit of thinky work for me. Have they changed in a way you weren't expecting? Yes. I think that the biggest thing that's going on for Friedrich, and what I want to build his goals around now is he got massively traumatized by a weird supernatural experience where he was trying to. His only goal that I actually set up at the beginning of the campaign was, his vice is getting weird esoteric artifacts, ideally through dramatic auctions or burglaries. And he found out about this basically magical ancient skeleton key called the Scarab of Sarakai. Did a whole great mission to find where it was, then went on a score to steal it, and in the process of stealing it, ended up breaking the security thing on a display of ancient Eruvian vases and got magically transported to ancient Eruvia and got freaking traumatized as a result. It was very scary. So his kind of big thing now is finding out what that means, trying to find it, discover the meaning of that vision and what happened and why, and get over it, basically. And in the process of doing that, he's currently really weirded out about life and death and kind of exploring that. So yes, it has changed in a way I wasn't expecting. Character goals have you accomplished? Like I said, I got the Scarab. That was like the only real goal I set, and we did do that with success with a consequence, you might say. Do your short, medium term goals to make sense? I don't think I ever set any properly except for that Scarab. So
Yeah,
as a result,
okay.
I'd like to set some new ones.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't necessarily something we have to do. I think this references something that they ask you to do earlier on in this book.
Okay.
But Blades has its own thing, so we don't need to worry too much about
We all
that.
failed it as well.
Alrighty. I'll skip goals then, but I will share them with you, OP, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always good to have, but don't worry about, like, you don't have to have them.
Okie doke. Well, I already mentioned the struggle or goal to face is discovering the truth about my vision.
Yeah.
NPCs I'd like to see or interact with. I think part of that could be like tracking down the former owners of the Scarab, maybe in disguise or whatever, to try and find out more about the display that fucked me up. Maybe Circle of Flame as well, because there's unresolved differences there. Elements of the backstory I'd like to see brought up. Potentially something to do with his aristocratic family. He was sort of exiled from his family after attempting unsuccessfully to rob a priceless relic from a rival family. So maybe something to do with his family, kind of tracking him down, trying to deal with the shame that he left them with.
And you're Akarosi as well, right?
Indeed.
You're from this continent, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the Imperial City,
yeah.
I remember. PC relationships, very briefly, I think Silas is the one I like best with Friedrich, partly because, in fact, mostly because of the inherent contrast in size and skills and attitude and demeanor and basically everything. But they almost always end up being sympathetic to each other, which I really like. And also, especially with Friedrich in a bit
that
of
always happens, doesn't it?
A little bit. I mean, it might have something to do with the PCs, the players rather, but you know. But yeah, since Friedrich's a bit dark and bitter at the moment, it's actually quite funny that of the double act, Silas might be the good cop at the moment, which is a funny role reversal.
Again, always seems to happen, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I've come clean on that point.
Like when you literally played a good cop.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But at least he was a cowardly cop for
Yeah,
once,
it's
and
true.
not a brave, handsome do-gooder.
And then, which PC would you like to interact with? I just put maybe the new ghosty bloke, whose name I've forgotten because we only met him once. Purely because Friedrich's kind of likely to become a bit more fascinated with spirits and the supernatural at the moment, so it seems natural that you want to get to know him. So that's what I've been thinking.
Nice. I mean, that definitely does fit into my mind map somewhere. Mind map. Because we also have Lorenzo still wants to find out about the bloody Vincettis and avenge the Vincettis. He's not been deterred from that goal, so this may actually have a bit of focus. And who knows, maybe it's related to other more relevant things. So there could be some stuff there about like the families of Duskfall, of Akarosi, and that sort of that drama that plays at the top of society. For Saffron, what I understood was that he still really wants to make cool shit. And if that cool shit can stop him from getting hurt and dying, then all the better. So that's good to know. And then Silas wants to become a little bit of a religious fanatic, so that's my jam.
Yeah, something like that. Still working out the details of that. I've got some, but I feel like I need to work through them a little bit with you because the nature of the Weeping Lady being what sounds like a pure bunch of do-gooders, it needs to blend in with, like I said, something a bit like Paladin Tenets, but I don't want it to be fucking Paladin Tenets. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to work out how you take the concept of helping the downtrodden and the poor and making it Dusk Volley. So I've got somewhere with it, but we'll evolve it as we go.
Yep. Cool. Well, okay. Shall we jump into some downtime? And I don't think any of you are injured or anything.
Downtime.
I am.
Yes, we're doing downtime.
Never mind. You're 2 heat away from raising your wanted level. Could be a problem.
Need to do a bit of that.
Could be a problem there, but
Well, I'm just going to go quickly first because I want to get rid of this bloody thing. I don't think it'll work because my stuff never works. But I'm going to indulge my advice to try and heal myself. Is that right? No, healing is something else. Is that right? Indulge my advice to heal, or am I thinking something else?
indulge your advice to remove stress.
Stress. I need to do that as well. I need to do both those things.
Oh yeah, some of you are quite stressed.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yes.
not a very
Oh, yes. Quite stressed indeed.
another very
Do not need reminding of that.
So indulge vice. Bonus none. Oh, 6. That's,
Whoa.
oh, wait, that's good, right?
It's never been done by you.
Yes. Clear out is equal to 5 stars. Yeah, 6. Or is that just 3? It's not 6. It's
No, you clear 6 stress.
right. Because if you overdo it, that's when it can. Which is actually very 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, yeah. You don't want to do. Yeah, so you have to be careful, don't you?
Yeah.
Down to 1 stress. Woo!
Nice. What
How
does?
about him?
What does?
Oh, sorry.
Well, maybe we'll combine both. To heal, you just do a roll based on the tier of your healer. Hang on 1 second.
Oh yes, me +1, wasn't it?
I have the page handy because I was looking up downtime stuff myself.
I get +1 D to healing treatment.
right.
I feel like we rolled 2 last time, so I think it's just.
So you do take stress when you heal yourself, remember?
Oh yes, and fuck that. Yes, thanks
Yeah.
for reminding me, buddy.
You're so welcome. I was just looking right at it, like, which I did last time as well because I was looking up what I wanted to do.
Where does it say that? It doesn't say that in the. Is that in the more expanded?
It's it's on page 155.
No, right. That's sorry. It's not the abilities for it. That's the general for anything. So I could do it without the bonus and not get stress. Basically, what we're saying, right? If someone else is healing me.
What's this?
The payoff, right? If I heal myself, or at least in part of the year, I'll get a +1. But get some stress.
But no one else could heal you.
If I let our healer heal me.
Oh, a healer, yeah.
Well, we have the healer. We have what's his jobs?
We do have what his jobs.
We have someone on the
You have
boat.
to
What
use
was his
a.
job called?
You have to acquire an asset. It's a downtime to get a healer.
So I'm so confused. But we've never taken stress before being healed. Have we just been fudging it then, or have we just been?
I think you've always had to acquire an asset to get the healer per downtime, and then you just would all use him.
It's just cheaper.
I guess last time I just did all the fucking work myself, didn't I? And then you got none of the benefit.
True.
How much stress do you get mileage on me?
It is 2.
Fucking hell. Well, I mean, look, I just did a whole bunch off, so why not? Cool. But if someone else uses downtime to acquire the healer, we can all use the healer, or just that person who.
I think everyone can if you hire their services for the downtime.
In case it seems probable that it's of relevance that because Friedrich took his second trauma, he's actually free of injury right now.
Nice.
So we don't need to heal him.
Oh, wonderful.
I also require no healing, I'm afraid.
All right, yeah. Seems like we should invest in getting our healer then when everyone needs it the most. Then I suppose. Well, I will. Just
Maybe our
heal
healer needs to stop
myself.
getting injured.
Hence the new objective to encase myself in a suit of armor around the Saffron.
There's also what it says here, which is worth noting, that when the healer heal somebody else, it doesn't cost them anything. I guess it's just the healy's downtime action. I suppose that.
Say that again. Say that again.
If you heal yourself,
Oh yes, it wouldn't cost.
It doesn't take cost any activities for you to heal somebody else.
But it still would take downtime to heal myself.
Yes.
And stress. I guess the benefit you're not having to spend downtime to acquire the asset. So I suppose that all makes a lot of sense. Right. So wait. So what tier level I am? So I'm healing myself. I'm tier 2. Tier 1. Tier 2.
You are tier 2.
Tier 2.
Plus 1 dice. How many dice are roll?
2 if it's tier 2.
And then plus my 1 for being me.
Yes.
Just for being me. 3 dice. I don't think I rolled 3 healing dice last time. I think we didn't. I might have to look back at that one, but hey, here we are. Dice. So just three regular dice, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans. Oh god. What was it? 8. Is that good? No, not really.
Well, the 3 dice. Look at the 3 dice. If a 5, so
Yes.
you get 2 segments on your clock.
And the 2 doesn't count for anything?
You just pick the highest result.
Sakes. I've been healing this wound for 3 downtimes now.
You're still trampled.
It has my least favourite thing about the system is the healing. It's a bit restrictive. Like I always say, considering at downtime I could be crafting I could have crafted a fucking half a hole in the time it's been taking me to do this. It is very restrictive, the healing, I have to say.
Can't have half a hole.
Yeah, broken limbs tend to be quite restrictive, I think, on the whole.
Well, but also I could have just rolled fucking once or twice to get luck to heal. It just seems to enough taking 2 stress as well.
You
That's
could
amazing.
have.
You rolled well on your
No,
stress this
no.
time, isn't that good? That's exciting. I think we all would have been stressed if you'd rolled another one.
I just got 2 of it back, though, didn't I?
All you need to do is find and hire the Doskfall equivalent of Madame Pomfrey.
Ooh,
She can heal broken bones in an instant.
you can.
It's
But I don't think that's a
I
thing.
look forward to my next downtime being used up by healing this wound again.
Oh, you could try and acquire an asset and get like a tier 4 or 5 healer.
Yeah.
Cost you a lot of gold.
But we'd have to do it every single.
Gordon.
Yes.
But every single downtime we have to hire
You
him again.
can acquire an asset permanently. Probably a long-term project.
Similar to a cohort, isn't it?
Yes.
You can hire a cohort, which can be like a group of people or a single person.
Or specialist, yeah.
A specialist.
Anyway. I don't
Anyway, tell me, what does this look like? Saffron not quite healing his trampled state, but getting quite de-stressed.
Well, then, I mean, I think it's a pretty classic, right? It's just clearly overindulgence. You know, like everyone has a glass of wine when you cook. Saffron will certainly light up a pipe of something when he goes to work on his healing, and so it might relax him, but also not go as well as he wants. So it's like an up and down. It's like sort of so relaxed. Then the healing goes bad, and he like snakes himself with a scalpel, then he's stressed again. So it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. Is this endeavour? So again, he might need to. That was one of the things we talked about. Was actually, you know, again trying to fix this vice of drugs and we were talking about moving to the vice of like being obsessed with the tinkering,
Craft, yes.
plasma craft and stuff. So that will be interesting to move away from in a way.
Yes.
But anyway, there we go. Downtime's done.
Nice. Lawrie, you're here? You join us?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
No, I'm on the laptop, which I was having issues with for a while.
Yeah. All good. You're here now. You haven't missed much. We've just done Saffron's downtime.
Nice.
Always.
Well.
Who goes next? Whilst you hear the cries of "fuck," "shit" from the back of the workshop.
I've stitched my elbow to my forehead again.
I can go. Silas will also start by healing some stress. I'm just wondering if there's anything interesting he would be doing with that other than going down to the pits and doing some fighting. But it is what it is.
Anything? Maybe some May I make a suggestion?
I was wondering how I can tie it in. Go on, please.
So at the end of the score, right, you guys got that stuff which you wanted to distribute to the dockers. Gesundheit. And I think whilst Silas is doing that, maybe with the stompers, enforcers or whatever, you come across at the docks a group of pilgrims who have arrived by boat. And this is fairly common because the train line is very expensive on Akaros, so a lot of the poorer people have to come by ship and head straight to the docks, which makes them prime targets for people like the billhooks. And I think you witness some poor tired pilgrims getting attacked by hook-wielding maniacs.
Not good.
And I think something compels you to step in.
I think it does. I think it's one of those. Not that Silas is a particularly hesitant person, but he's handing out supplies with the enforcers, and they look around and they look back, and suddenly Silas is sprinting at the nearest billhook, saying something like, "That's not how we do justice in Duskfall."
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Right. This is actually quite good. I can tie this into my other downtime, which I'll get to in a second. Indulge rise. Clicky. Average, we can live with it. So I would say it gives them a reasonable beating, I suppose. Chases them off. Perhaps nothing too dramatic. But between the rescued pilgrims, who probably, I imagine, say thanks and shuffle off because it's Duskfall and he's not too appealing himself. Between them and the dockers, I think there's maybe like just a little bit of a rumbling of like starting to get to know who this character might be who's been around with the enforcers, and maybe they sort of start to the action I want to do is reduce heat, but basically they start to cover a little bit for what has occurred here because of the supplies. Not that they're perhaps fans of the Emporium yet, but when the billhooks are going knocking, probably no one's going to be dobbing Silas in.
Yeah, sounds good.
Reduce heat. Haven't done this in a while. Where are you?
You just do the action roll, right?
Yes, I can't see it on the thing. It's an excellent but very busy sheet. What's it saying in the book? Oh, so it's an action roll based on what you did. Which, I feel like that really falls between potential skills you could use for it, because he hasn't really taken an action in this scenario to command or consort with him. But I also wouldn't feel right saying, "Oh, it feels like he skirmished his way into reducing heat." So I'm not really sure where it sits. What do you think?
I think in this instance we can say skirmish.
Well.
In this instance, because it ties into what you're doing.
This will be the only instance. All right, so we just roll a skirmish. Just a bump. There we go, a 5. Nothing too dramatic.
Nice. Does it say how much that reduces it by?
2 heat reduced.
The heat.
A shame I couldn't fish a 6 out of there.
Or 2
Where
sixes.
Where does that leave us, heat-wise?
You're 4 away from going up a wanted level.
Okay, but I mean, how far are we away from minimum? Can we go down a wanted level?
I don't think so. I can't remember. I know we discussed this before. but there's 5 heat. So you're on 5 heat, so you need to get, I think, like a critical to even clear all of that. The good thing about reducing heat is that you will start being able to do your side hustle, vice down stuff will come back online.
Yeah. This
And
is
your
what I was
entanglements will get
thinking.
easier. And
So the side, the lair things don't work if we have more than how much heat?
so because the vice den is
To do with hold, is it, or what?
because the vice den is tier roll minus heat.
Okay.
If you basically have
So high, yeah.
6 heat or more, you're never
There's
gonna
no point.
get that difference. Yeah.
Okay. 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 In which case, it would be churlish for Friedrich not to attempt to remove some heat as well, given that he doesn't need to use up one of his downtime slots for healing, unlike others. So I think Friedrich wants to try and reduce some heat. The 2 ideas I have for this are, one, some light burglary of some blue coat patrol stations, try and steal some evidence on the old damned Emporium, which I'm assuming would be a kind of finesse or prowl type thing. Option the second, which I was going to throw past you, OP, is in some of the older Assassin's Creeds where you could just tear down wanted posters of yourself, and like every single one you did would would basically reduce your wanted level with the police.
Yep. You could do it
Do a
in
bit of that.
Mirage as well.
Is
Or
it? They brought it back.
Or you can bribe like the town crier, one of the town criers to. I don't know. I've never done that because I'm a cheapskate. I just go for the
Sing your
posters.
praises. Okay, but would that work here as a slightly lower risk escapade?
What town wanted posters down?
Yeah. Do they have wanted posters of us? I think is probably the most important factor in that decision.
I feel like it's a bit too video gamey.
A little bit, isn't it?
I'm trying
Let's
to
go
think
with the burglary thing.
Yeah.
That's just not how
That makes more
posters are
sense and is
different
slightly more
level of
daring.
it, right?
All right, so I just roll my skill, right? And, so
Reductor.
Flipendo. Interesting fact: Flipendo only existed in the computer games of Harry Potter. It wasn't in the films or the books. Risky, standard. Is
Yeah,
it?
Why not? Ooh, another 5.
Team 5s.
Love it. Love it.
Cool. So you're down to just 3 heat.
Indeed.
Very nice. Good work, team.
Yeah, so Friedrich just kind of like spends a happy afternoon slipping from police station to police station, casing it for 5 minutes, and just kind of popping in, grabbing a few files that have our name on them, and just sneaking out again.
Lovely.
Yeah. Do you have like a blue coat disguise?
Yes, but like a really terrible one. He mainly just makes it work by kind of body language and sleight of hand. It's like a Darren Brown thing. Like it's suggestion of a good costume rather than an actual good costume.
Yeah, you know how to divert the eye.
Mainly, he just kind of like throws a coin in the other direction, and then everyone around him goes "Flipperins!"
Yeah.
Another Assassin's Creed reference. Only Olly laughed, and he only laughed out of politeness. So it's okay.
I was thinking of that bit in Winter Soldier where Black Widow kisses Chris Evans on the escalator, and she's like, "People get uncomfortable around signs of public intimacy." It's like, good work, writers. Good work, Russo Bros. What a great excuse.
They didn't write it.
Oh, well. Mr. Marvel snapped there with his facts. Snap facts.
Another fact, I realised I did only roll two. I only had 2 dice for healing last downtime.
Oh.
But I did take all my stress. Petition to roll an extra dice now for healing missed last time.
Go on then, because you put in all that effort to find out.
Especially I rolled a 2 and a 3 last time as well, so I didn't heal anything last time.
Take it to change.org.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Watch it be. What was it? Nothing. Oh, one. There you go. But there you go. See, that's karmic.
It was meant to be.
That is the dice gods every time. We see it all the time in Warhammer.
Yep.
Well, at least I rolled all my dice, so you know
Yes.
the karmic juice is fulfilled at least.
Ew.
Ooh. I didn't like it either.
Yes. Hold off on writing to your MP.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that was that 2 from you? No, that was just 1 from Friedrich, right? One
Yeah. I've got the other one. It's boring. It's just gonna train myself up a bit.
Training montage.
You know, it's boring as fuck. And when I get an XP and resolve to get started on another point of sway. So we'll have Friedrich after he's done his light burglary. He'll spend the evening at the what's it called? White Crown. Is White Crown the posh place? Is it called White Crown? Something Crown? Crownville?
Yes, it's definitely Crown something.
Crown Town. He's going to go to Crown Town.
Take you to Crown Town.
To the
White Crown, yeah.
Yeah, to the Doskvol debating union, where he's signed himself up for a beginners course. And
in togas.
it's the equivalent of fucking jobbing Jordan Peterson in Doskvol is running the debating union and charging a bunch of self-satisfied teenagers all their pocket money to teach them how to just kind of talk nonsense at people until they give up.
Oh, can it be Harvale Brogan from the Circle of Flame?
Yes, it can. Did you do a
Nice.
Jordan Peterson voice for him? I've forgotten.
No, I didn't, but I just imagine him being that kind of smug, faux intellectual.
Just use a lot of long words and
Yeah.
sound kind of slightly scandalized or indignant.
Yeah.
And you just win automatically. You're right
Yep.
about everything.
Yep. I'm trying to think, what would he say? What would Duskvolian Jordan Peterson say? You know what the most Jordan Peterson-y thing reference that came to mind was Mikey being like, "Prove it." To everything.
Where's your proof? Where's your evidence base?
Some people say the ghosts come from the people, but prove it.
Fucking creep.
I mean, have you ever seen a ghost come from a person?
You're
Yes.
It is spot on.
Yes, we have.
How do you know they don't come from the moon? The moon is always there when the ghosts are there.
QED. I mean QED. We could go a long time on this. We should probably move.
We should move on from this bit. But yeah, you do manage to take part in a debate about the nature and origin of ghosts in the free market of ideas.
Is that Mikey's next character coming? Alex,
Fuck
sorry.
off. Absolutely not. I will quit.
But your accent's
If I
so
have
on
to
point.
deal with an entire campaign of Mikey doing Jordan Peterson, I will quit.
And no one blame you.
But I won the debate. How come I might take the level 3 hub? He has a club. But I won the
Go.
argument. Technically, I won.
Spend my Tuesday evenings playing D&D with strangers at Geek Retreat rather than doing that.
All right, nice. Let's do Lorenzo. I think you're the only one left, sir.
Yeah, I've just thought of an idea as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we still got some heat, so I thought I'll reduce heat further. And I'm gonna do so. But I imagine there's quite a lot of there's some press in the city, right? There's like the printed press and all that kind of thing. So I imagine there's going to be some kind of reporter who specifically reports on the crime going on in Duskfall. I'm going to find that person and scare them into not printing about us for a matter of time in the future, just to keep our name out of the papers.
Sure.
And I'm going to find them and then use my command role to do that.
Okay. You find you find the no, not the Andrew Neil, he's too scary.
Surely you find the George Osborne.
Yeah, the Duskfall crime podcast series.
Hey, he's an easygoing centrist podcaster now. You know, he's just living his best life.
Yeah.
Dunking on his former comrades, pretending to be not a lizard man.
I think who's a mid-level. You find the Robert Peston of Duskfall. You know, not first on the list of people who get their answers asked, their questions asked first at the press conference. Somewhere in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah,
I find that person. This is my bit.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, okay, so what's gonna happen, right, is I'm gonna find where he lives, and then as he's coming home, he's gonna, picture he gets in through the front door, it's all dark, he goes on through to the kitchenette area or whatever, and then he puts on a light, and there sits Lorenzo in the chair opposite, pistol in hand, on his lap.
Yeah.
And it kind of says, he takes a picture from the counter next to him. He's like, "Your kids, little Robbie and little Grace, they're beautiful, aren't they? It'd be a shame if something were to happen to them. Now, this can go one of two ways, buddy. Either you're gonna keep the damned Emporium out of your papers for the next few months. They might not come home from school one day."
Nice.
And I'm gonna stand. What's his reaction at this point?
Well, you haven't rolled yet.
Good thing. I'll roll.
We'll see how scared Peston is.
Position controlled.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Standard.
Another 5, is it?
Nice squad.
Nice.
My God.
So you do reduce it down to merely 1 heat. Well done, chaps.
Oh,
Well, hey.
probably
So
the first time since ever we had a sort of team effort to really bring it down.
I think we started the first session with more heat than this, didn't we?
Probably, yeah.
I feel like it was quite a cool little team montage as well. I can picture those different activities happening in tandem.
Yes.
I can
Relatively
sort of
healthy.
picture it
In a corner.
happening following, one of those sort of Peaky Blinders-esque family meetings.
Yeah.
Where whoever's holding that meeting is like, "We've got to do something about this heat."
Too much bloody heat on us right now.
So I can assume
What's up,
that
Charlie?
No fighting meme, except Silas actually goes and gets into a fight. But it works out.
I actually had it more like hustle in my head, where the transition between each one was it cuts back into a kind of comic book frame and then switches into a different frame.
Very
that moves
elaborate
around the
transition, yeah. It's like a
Every
diagonal,
show
it's like a
for 5
triangle, and then it goes upwards, and then, yeah. Love that. And then it cuts to Canary Wharf. Oh, there's a meeting going on with some. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So Lorenzo, Robert Peston is pretty terrified. He's not scared out of his wits, but he seems very compliant with you. And he's like, "Oh, please, just leave my kids alone, okay? What do you want from me?"
as I said, keep the damned Emporium's name out of your papers, and your kids will be fine, your family will be fine, and your pretty, pretty wife, she'll be fine too. All right. And I think Lorenzo just taps the end of his pistol on his hat as like a bon voyage kind of gesture, and he just leaves without another word.
Nice. Out the window or
Yeah.
door?
Yeah. He swings. He starts Spider-Man webs. No, he doesn't have the Sparkcraft Spider-Man tech yet.
I think when you say about his pretty wife, I think he like looks at the picture on the fridge, the Sparkcraft fridge, and then when he turns back and he's like, "How do I know you'll keep your and you're gone. Just an open window.
Open window, blowing, billowing curtains.
Yep. Yep.
Every year I seem to picture Lorenzo more and more as the mysterious stranger from Fallout.
I think I probably had my ghost mask on as well. You know, the really eerie one where there's a slight faint trail of electroplasm pouring down one side.
Yep.
Probably wearing that, and as I left, there was just a hint of electroplasm in the air, dangling.
Yeah. Makes his Sparkcraft microwave fizzle out for a few seconds whilst he's heating his mushroom curry for one.
What happened to his wife?
Well, I'm
on business.
I'm just world building here. You know, it's up to you guys to find out why.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it.
You just work in a late shift, mate.
You planted the tiniest of seeds, and immediately my brain just went, story.
Right, like next score. Save Robert Preston's marriage.
Maybe they were.
Maybe we have to smuggle her heart, her love.
I mean, I'd do that as like a musical episode. But like every semi-serious show has a musical episode, especially Joss Whedon ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah, maybe there's like a voice recording, Bioshock style in his bedroom you could have listened to and found out like what actually happened, but you missed it.
It's been 12 years since I killed my wife. Nobody's found out. The cashier at the store looks at me funny when I buy my mushroom dinners for one, but I keep her sweet.
A mysterious stranger broke into my apartment and didn't recognize the rotting carcass of Timmy the cat.
I thought your apartment smelled of shit. No, yeah, so we're trying to be more scary, right? That's the whole thing, so I hope that was a bit more scary.
It was scary.
I was scared. That was a legit, shakedown.
That was a villainous move.
Yeah.
Nice. And then don't forget you take stress if you don't indulge your vice, if you have trauma. So yeah.
When is that a thing?
It's one per trauma, so usually it's
as
not
someone
too
who
much of a
generally
deal.
forgets the rules, that has been a rule for a while, yes.
Oh, okay. And when is that? When do you take that?
Now.
During downtime if you don't indulge your vice with one of your
Roger.
downtimes.
In fairness, though, I had no stress, so I probably still would have chosen to do the two things I did.
Yeah, it's all good. You don't want to risk overindulging.
I've only done one there, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm reminding you now.
Has everyone else done one, or everyone else got two done, or?
No,
everyone's done two.
We've all done.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What do you mean, man?
I think I'll go down and say hello to Salia, who's some Lorenzo or some Vincetti relative.
Is this the person I'm not allowed to do the accent for anymore?
Yeah, or maybe not her. Maybe the person we said about in DMs about meeting to gain some more family wider knowledge.
Oh, okay. Hang on then. Let me just quickly check then. What is this downtime? What activity is it?
It's a long-term project or that kind of thing for the family moider. I mean, I've got 3 ticks on the clock still, so
Okay, yeah. I don't know why it's not on the main sheet anymore, but
I've got it on mine.
okay. Alrighty then. Yes. So first, roll me to see how much. So how much segments you have left in your clock?
3 out of 6.
Well, roll me a dice. If you get a 6, you'll complete it.
Well, I'll do a hunt, and just the generic kind of I'm going across the city trying to find people who have kind of any knowledge about it, right? Like
maybe
kind of doing like a Batman-esque, just finding a random gangster, low-level gangster, and beating him until he gives me the information I want, and he doesn't. So I'm like, ah, shit.
Maybe you that's what you did whilst you were threatening the journalist.
Well, asking him about the
Yeah,
true. Yeah, retcon that then.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly.
You jump back into the window. One more thing.
And one more thing. Where are they?
The Vincetti family.
Alfred!
Swear to me.
Oh, there we go. Gosh.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Now the thing we talked
Nice
about
day.
can happen. Okay, so Robert Peston, Esquire, tells you that he did cover the case of the Vincetti moiders by a rival gang. And in his records, it says it was reported that the rival gang was indeed the Bill Hooks. Seemingly,
Those motherfuckers.
and one thing he remembers from the case was that it was a seemingly random attack on the Bill Hooks' part. There was no motivation on their behalf to simply have open war with another rival faction. A bit of a sort of a siege of Arakeen situation where it was done in one night out of nowhere. And he recalls one other Vincetti family member, distant family member, who he interviewed, but it never got printed because the danger it would present. And he tells you that this person is a Vincetti on their mother's side, so their name is not Vincetti anymore. Their name is Courtland, who you have met. He is the leader of the Lost, the Tier 1 faction.
Oh.
Who you worked with previously.
Oh yeah.
Good
Oh,
gravy.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Peston's
Alright.
getting well into it right now. He's in his filing cabinet. He's getting all out these old papers out and stuff in his magnifying glass, and he's showing you all this stuff.
Well, I think as Lorenzo's hearing this, he's kind of like going white with, you know, as the thoughts running over him that a fucking shitty little gang like the Bill Hooks could wipe out, you know, or not wipe out, but, you know, take out the leaders of the Vincettis, you know. It's like, how could they just sweep from under their foot, you know? The bastards. Yeah, very angry and very confused. Obviously, there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah. It was
It's-
Dr.
it's
Yue.
Quite easy to put together. There's definitely a man on
No,
the
it couldn't
inside or
be.
some shit.
Yeah.
Akarosi Empire Imperial programming.
Sick.
That is sick.
So yeah,
So I need to find the bill hooks.
Oh, you don't need to try very hard to find them.
Found him.
He's got a hook. Cool. Well, that's downtime over. We enter free time.
Right,
There's-
down to the pub.
Get a drink.
Yeah, we made a note last time.
Mm.
We said that with the first session back, we should invest in free time in the group having a sort of beach day, socializing, bonding moment
Mm.
to reinvest in our PC interactions, which I think we kind of all agreed in our 0 session that there weren't quite enough of.
Yeah. Those downtimes felt pretty good. Those were some good bits, nuggets of RP. Very tasty.
Well, for some people.
Yeah. I mean, you could all meet down the old Leaky Bucket.
Does the Leaky Bucket have many leaks?
Alright.
It sounds like a shit pub.
I think it's not literal.
It'd be funny if it was though.
Yeah, I'm
That'll
sure.
be
Every,
I'm
every
sure.
drink is served in like a mid bucket that's just slowly leaking the whole time, so you have
Yeah.
to buy more drinks.
It's like Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
Friedrich turns up at the Leaky Bucket wearing a very expensive looking Speedo and kind of silk kimono tied at the waist with a string, with a big beach towel over his shoulder. And already, as he arrives at the Leaky Bucket, already has a daiquiri in his hand. He did not get it out the Leaky Bucket. He brought it with him.
10 gold fine for that, mate. You can't bring other drinks in here.
I'm terribly sorry, my good man. And then he just downs it in one gulp, throws the glass out the window, and saunters up to the bar and takes a seat, waiting for everybody.
Did you get it from Big G's? Is it like half tequila?
Professor G's. Just a pint, 3/4 of a pint of gin, and then like a couple of shots of vodka and a tiny bit of Coke. €6.
They were something.
Mhm. And that's a reference only the people who put the motto will get.
Yeah, it's pretty,
Like us.
Nice.
Saffron enters wearing more clothes than that.
Always.
There's wheelchair accessible, the pub now, is it? Have they made the upgrades?
I think you probably have installed a ramp, yes.
Good, yes. Well, so for such regulars, you just install your own, install your own accessibility features.
Safi, so good to see you. A drink
Oh,
before
yes,
we
I
go
need
to the
one.
beach.
You may have got the wrong end of the message. When we said beach day, it was more of a metaphorical beach day, not an actual literal beach day. My good sir.
You just see Friedrich's face just fall in kind of slow motion. Like for the first sort of fraction of a second, he's like sort of convincing himself that you're joking, and he's about to sort of laugh along, and then he sees in your eyes that you're not, and you're looking really awkward, like, you know, just sort of almost guilty for letting him down. And you just see him, he's just like a wounded puppy. He's like, oh, yes, of course, I feel silly now.
But
Not to worry.
I have to say, as always, you look fabulous. You set us all to shame with your attire. You still look the best in the pub.
Is there anyone
I'm
else?
assuming that the people in the pub are looking at Friedrich very strangely.
Wearing,
in
like,
the leaky
potato-
bucket.
Potato sacks and rags, I imagine.
Yeah, Mardin Gull, the landlord. It's just cleaning glasses, looking very bemused. Shakes his head. Those guys.
think Silas saunters into the pub like this in this sitcom scene where everyone sort of arrives conveniently, almost quite the right time, and goes straight to the bar and asks for an ale. But as he receives his ale, he takes a little look at his hand and kind of starts scuffing out on his jacket, and then asks for a rag. There's a little rub, and probably only the barkeep can certainly tell that it's fresh blood on those hands. And Silas has obviously just come straight from a fight, but just sort of gets his ale, comes over to the table, just looking quite pleased with himself, but saying no more about it. Gentlemen.
Silas, welcome.
Hello, Silas. You may or may not be aware, but just so that we're all on the same page, we aren't actually going to the beach. I thought we were. Saffron has told me different. But, c'est la vie. A drink. Drinks for everyone.
I would have thought it'd be rather obvious there'd be no beach trip involved in this trip, seeing as I don't believe I've ever even seen one. But it's good that you're always prepared, Friedrich. That's what I like about you. Cheers.
Silas, you've never been to the beach? You've never made a sand mushroom?
I've never really been much of a fan of sand. It rather gets everywhere.
That's the joy of it. It gives you something to remember the day by.
I think he takes a little look at his probably still ever so slightly reddened hands, and thinks, I prefer to take other souvenirs to remember the day by.
Yes, I know you do.
I have to say I've lived in Duskfall all of my life. Well, most of my life. 50 years now. I've never been to the beach either. Just those damn docks. It's the closest water we've had.
I think that's funny because Friedrich, you said you're from the Imperial City.
Mm-hmm.
So the Imperial City has, by sort of creation of Sparkcraft and other things, they have their own localized sun that emits light and UV rays and heat and all the rest of it. So they're the only city that actually gets, vitamin D and proper sunlight. So you may have actually experienced sunbathing. One of the very few people.
But I'd like it to be sort of a canon point that Friedrich genuinely didn't understand. Due to the cosseted nature of his upbringing, he didn't understand that was a ridiculously rarefied benefit that he had access to. Like that, maybe all of the people in the Imperial City had some access to the sun because it was there, unlike the rest of the continent. But very few of them actually got to go to any of these sort of artificial recreated beaches just for the poshos. Mm-hmm. But Friedrich just didn't pick up on that, and may have become more worldly in the years since, but just never quite learned that only the poshos actually ever got to experience the existence of beaches. So he's turned up in his beach gear and is like, oh, let's go for a swim, everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely. The girls will be out with their peaches on the beaches. It'll be perfect.
I think Lorenzo comes in because rather late now. He'll pop through with a bottle of brandy in hand, and he'll put it down on the bar where we all are, and say, boys, well, I've just been off to had a conversation with a lovely journalist who's just given me as a present. I'll say we open it all, have a smoking right now.
Oh yes, I haven't got a drink yet, so that will save me a gold coin or two. Fill me up. Pulls out a very poorly made glass he's been tinkering away at. Very misshapen, but he's very proud of it.
Don't mind about that, barkeep. We'll be ordering. Let me get around it. We'll take two mushroom daiquiris each. One to drink, one to wear.
Make mine a virgin mushroom daiquiri, please.
Told you, Friedrich, we don't do that here. You know we don't do that.
Oh, pish posh. Let me back there, I'll make them.
We don't got none of those little umbrellas. And I'm not buying them from abroad.
And I am Bob Fossil.
That's it. That's the one. Are you still here?
Pretty.
I'll take 8 Top Shops shandies, please. Quick sticks.
All right. Congratulations. There you go. Yeah, great.
Cool. So we get some Top Shop shandies, so he's not too pissed off about Lorenzo walking in with a massive bottle of expensive spirit that we didn't buy there.
This is basically this is our pub in our hood, though, right? This is like we're friendly with the owner.
It's also our
Yeah.
fantasy world. We can do away with annoying shit like that.
He's
That happens in the
friendly
UK.
forces.
Yeah, also, who's
So-
wearing trainers?
The Leaky
Yeah.
Bucket, open brackets, BYOB, close brackets.
That's it. The leaky, bring your own boys. Friedrich, I've always admired your more, let's say, extravagant way of living. This recent occurrence of assuming going to the beach. We'd love to know more about your why you thought we'd be going to a beach in Duskfall.
Well, why shouldn't we? I can't say I've explored much of the surroundings of this city since
I should take
since coming here. But every city has beaches somewhere, doesn't it? Can't be that far to the sea.
I mean, yes, sea is all around, but as we've seen, it's mostly plankwood and driftwood and perhaps the odd leviathan chomping at your heels, or maybe ghost spirits about to drag you under. But I admire your penchant for the more stylish way of living.
Well, I'm very grateful for your kind words, Safi, as always. But if we aren't going to go to the beach, what shall we talk about, gentlemen? We have been working together for quite a while now, and I think this is the first time we've sat down to a conversation for more than a few minutes.
Well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, hasn't it? Every moment we think we have a chance to rest, we're thrown into a new war, or a new jail, or a new hideous ghoul-infested background. Now it seemed like a good time as any to take a moment as we embark on our next daring and intrepid adventure before things really get serious.
I should very much like to propose that we don't make any more trips into the Deathlands. I think the Docklands, they seem a little more welcoming, don't they?
Well, I mean, not to bring up bad things, but there was a bit of a hullabaloo on that last score, wasn't there, Friedrich? Friedrich, how are you handling it with the incident on the docks?
I suppose I have some apologies to make. I put you all through a lot there, didn't I? I can't say I have a complete explanation for you. All I can say is my life's become a little stranger of late. And I don't just mean the rocket-powered wheelchair that I spend most of my days around. I suppose it goes back to that raid on the museum. You remember the heist that I'd been planning all that time? Didn't go quite to plan, and something happened.
My
to me.
scarab replica was a pile of shit. You're right.
Yes, well, you did your best. And the important thing to me at the time was that I got the shiny thing. I do love shiny things, though I have to say I haven't tried it yet. That's next on my agenda, but. Something did happen to me that night, and I don't understand what, and it has been rather haunting me. I don't know why I killed that man.
There are mysterious forces, the ghosts and the electroplasm in this place is very, very alarming. I've been here so much of my life, but only recently in our adventures have I really delved into it. I too have been drawn to the the dark and mysterious side of this place that I hadn't seen here before. So, if you need assistance in using this scarab, this trinket, if there's anything I can help you with, I'll be there.
Thank you, Safi.
I must say, Friedrich, far be it from me to be the person to criticize murder in Duskfall. My fair share of dead bodies behind me, but if I might offer just a little advice, it is that in this city you must, if you're going to take life, do it with purpose. The right life. A life must be worth taking. You must have your own code.
A noble ideal indeed. And perhaps that's the meat of it. I've never had need of one. I've never wished to kill, never been interested in walking that line between life and death. Always wished to stay as far away from it as possible, if I'm honest. As I suspect I showed you in our exploits in the Deadlands. Danger is not my best friend. I like to sneak and stay away, but something made me do it. I wanted to see what it looked like. I wanted to see what makes that light come into your eyes in the middle of a raging fight, Silas. I wanted to see what makes that corner of your mouth turn up when you're sitting in the chair in a darkened room threatening a journalist, Lorenzo. I wanted to feel what it's like to be the arbiter of life and death in the moment. And I don't know whether I liked it or not.
No, well,
It's a strange place we live.
I certainly didn't. It's been, again, despite the years of thievery and druggery, the level of violence we've encountered, maybe from some of our own, maybe some things that happened to us, has also left many scars on my frail old brain too. So I can sympathize. It changes you, the violence and the death and the destruction. I can only imagine if you're the one causing it as well, what it could do to your soul.
Well, that's just the thing. I don't know if I ever thought about having one before. But somehow, being taken away from my strange little eccentric existence reminded me that, well, there is something there. And some people, their vice is to take it away. I wondered if that could be me.
Well,
I don't know.
But we'll support you in wherever your journey takes you. You're one of the damned Emporium, damn it.
Look, we'll have plenty to kill when the time comes to it. These bloody billhooks, my man. I'm telling you, I found out just today they're the ones responsible for murdering my family.
Huh?
We could set our targets, our crosshairs on these motherfuckers, alright?
Well, you bring us to an interesting point of discussion is, yes, next steps. Which very much is, as we know, we're a group who take out those who wrong us, who stand in our way, and we know our best aim for fortune, fame and infamy, let's say, and hopefully a peaceful retirement is to make the most out of these docks and leverage what we have, and these billhooks stand in our way. So Lorenzo, not to minimize your personal investment, but let's say the two things go hand in hand, and we will support you in that, in our ambition to take the docks and remove the billhooks.
Of course. I'm just saying there is blood to be shed. Should we need it to be spilled is all.
Well, again,
Yeah.
I mean, bloodshed is one thing, but there may be other ways to more. Let's not forget that we have ways of more subtly separating people from their place in this world.
Yes, indeed. We may have won the war against the Red Sashes, but at great cost. Perhaps best we use just a little more wit this time. Only a little, mind you.
I mean, you know what they say. War never changes.
That last bloody war did every week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, true.
We were on a boat one week, then we were in a museum. It was fantastic.
Yes, I have to say, Lorenzo, that aphorism does sound rather good, but actually, once you come to think about it for a few moments, it's almost meaningless.
It's almost complete marketing bollocks.
That spirit
we-
Todd Howard, that fucking guy.
We put the fear of God in the billhooks with that last score. They know we're coming, but we have the dockers on our side, and we have the element of surprise and the element of moving a bit more nimbly.
Well, you don't
I don't
quite have
think
the
we have
dockers
a-
on your side.
Well, okay, let's say they're willing to. There's potential for them to be on our side.
They're still
I
neutral.
Yeah. But they're more
I
on
did
our
feel
side
one.
than they are the Billocks.
Well, that's what that's more kind of my thinking.
Yes. Are they willing to actively put themselves in danger to help you?
Well,
Not
they
so
weren't a
sure
lot,
yet.
were they? They bloody scarpered, didn't they?
Well, they were supposed to be after that score when it went perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
A nice simple score.
Can't believe our score didn't go perfect.
Well, now you come to mention that, Silas, I had been thinking. Perhaps it ought to be beholden upon me to set up something of a recovery, a score that might restore our fortunes with the dockers, get us back on track.
I should certainly like to hear it, though I suspect we may have trouble with that docker. Hammer, his name. I hope the Billocks haven't gotten to him, but I'd certainly like to hear your thoughts.
Well, certainly getting to him and conducting some damage control would be a good first step, but it might be advisable to approach him with an idea already in hand. Something sensible, something practicable that has a clear advantage to him and his people that we can realistically offer.
Perhaps this time it should also be profitable.
Yes.
I'm
But
sure
I'm not getting any younger. Retirement needs to come sooner rather than later.
Well, we
As
do
it
have a
goes,
skill set.
surgery might not be helping the aging process, Saffron.
Well, it's unproven. Prove it. Prove it.
We do rather have a skill set that lends itself to profitable ventures. I'm sure we can find a canny little burglary or hold-up job that can benefit the people of the dockers and pay us a little bit of coin by the side. Seems to me that's our best next move.
So I suppose the question is, what is precious to the Billocks that we can take?
Oh, I like where your head's at.
Well, they all worship this giant golden hook,
Ah, yes! Did they really?
and they lay all of their spoils at its feet.
So all we need to do is get a crane and lower down a little loop of rope through the ceiling, grab the hook.
I'm thinking it wants a little volcano under it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the easiest solution, sure.
I mean, it is very Temple of Doom, so.
Their relationship with the North Hook Company is quite integral to their servings. I think my understanding is the North Hook Company don't really mind who they do business with. Perhaps that's a relationship we could target or usurp or damage or leverage in some way.
I like it. I like it. Go hit them with their wallet. Find some potential target at the North Hook Company that we could either rob or somehow twist to the Docker's benefit.
Yeah, we could either attack the North Hook Company and frame the Billocks, or we could do some work for the North Hook and earn favour that way. Draw their attention away, show our worth, show the weakness of the Billocks.
Not seeing the immediate benefit for the Dockers, though.
Well, if the job was to bring in something good for the Dockers, we tell the Dockers and they work with us, we can show the North Hook how we can bring in the Dockers and the traders in a way that the Billhooks can't because they're so hated.
Silas, Mardin brings over another round of drinks you've ordered. He drops a piece of paper, a note in front of you, and it's like, "Oh, Templeton, this This came for you earlier. Don't make it a habit. I'm not your bloody postman.
Not an owl.
Your bloody royal mail. On Her Majesty's service.
Very good, thank you, sir. And hands him an appropriate amount of coin as an apology. And
Like
one for
1/8
you
of
for
a
your
coin.
troubles.
Yeah, nice.
Silas will read the note.
Oh. So it says. It says. Saw you saving those scruffy worshippers down the docks. Who is this new Silas Templeton? Seems like you and I have a mutual patron. We should meet.
Ooh.
Bring the old man. Signed, G.
G.
Big G's.
Nope, don't know who G is. Might know who G is.
Discuss the dog.
Your
Might know who G is.
You learn to
your
write.
potentially your rival.
Yes, I thought so. On the second round of thought, I was like,
Yes.
that would be interesting because I guess it's a mixed message rather.
Gary Barlow.
Certainly be very interested in.
This is
In
a
the
lovely
music.
day out.
This TikTok is so weird.
It is, isn't it?
The one where he strangles you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bizarre.
No, Gary, don't do it.
Gary Barlow is the next big gang boss.
It is weird he does that. It's like, think
Oh,
about it.
please, let's do that. Let's have a scene where Gary Barlow picks one of us up by our necks.
Gary
Tells us
Barlow
he's
and his
having a lovely
lieutenant,
afternoon in the vineyard.
Gary and his lieutenant Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, Gary's got the Sparkcraft suit of armor, so
I think he'll just relay the note and so what do you say, Saffron? Would you like to come to a little meeting with me? I will. Full disclosure, I have some suspicions about the author of the note. Couldn't say for
I'll-
sure, but
I'll
there may be some
tread.
danger.
I'll roll wherever I'm needed. I'm trying to, turn things around and kick the habit of the drugs. Having more to do, more to put my energies towards. If this helps our mission, helps our crew, then I think this is absolutely something I'd be willing to help with.
Oh, very good. Must say I have a rather vested interest in finding out the writer of the note. It may be an old friend of mine. Of course, when I say friend, like every friend in Duskfall, it means person who brought you to ruin. But we shall
Well,
see.
those are the best kind in the end. They form us into who we are. You'll learn, young pup.
I think I might be looking at 3 more of those friends.
Oh, come now. We're far from ruin. We're young, most of us. We've many more adventures to go on before the end. And with that, another 6 mushroom daiquiri. I mean, whatever this twill is, Martin, you bring me your best nonsense.
best nonsense. Nice.
Oh, that's our signature drink.
Yeah, there's one white chalkboard behind the bar with like the special of the day that has never changed in 40 years. It's just the Duskfall version of the Manhattan, because that's a man's cocktail.
Sounds ideal. Another round of those, then. Let's get this night going. I, for one, have some things I'd rather forget. And then we go to a club, and everyone's fine. Nobody injures themselves.
Yes.
Gus bites someone.
Yeah. Gus actually gets incredibly irate when he hears the pop anthem Sweet Caroline. And it's 4 a.m. in a club, so it has to be played.
Oh, what are we doing here? Full of tourists. Should be in a real place. Safi, you must know the Berghain of Doskval.
Sorry, the what?
That should be like our medium term goal as a crew to like get into the most up its own ass, artificially selective wanky club in all of Doskval.
I don't think we'd fit in very well.
So Silas will accidentally sell Friedrich out again if he goes in there. He'll just speak to one posho and be like, "Friedrich killed a man who pushed me over. I'm really sorry." I mean, that will be 3 coins.
I mean,
they definitely won't have accessible.
Yes, I do have my ID on me. To be fair, you probably get in because I imagine people have to pretend to dress like scoundrels from Crowsfoot to get in.
Ironic.
Yeah, it's like derelict.
Probably only Friedrich can get turned away for being too well dressed.
Yeah, look at his ruff. Cool. Well, you've got that letter to follow up on. You've got Lorenzo, I imagine, would want to meet Cortland. You can go and talk to Hammer. And any other things that you still wish to do, such as the next score.
I'm not sure if it's between now and the next score. It might be something that I should set up as a long-term project at the next downtime. But Friedrich does want to construct some form of, he wants to get in touch with and then mine for information the people that ran the private collection in White Crown where we robbed the scarab, to find out more about the ancient Eruvia display. He wasn't actually seen as part of that robbery, so I don't know that he actually needs to do much sort of fake identity or anything, but he would want to do some due diligence and preparation. So I don't know whether that's a long-term project. It feels a bit too much for a long-term project, but maybe a bit too... Also a bit... It feels small enough that it's a bit too small for a long-term project, but a bit too big for something you can do like just for free on free time, you know?
Yeah, you could always do it as like a 4-segment long-term project, like not a very long one. Because I imagine there'll be like research involved, will be like one part of it, and then going and talking to people as well.
Yeah, I think that works. I'll add the clock now, just so I don't forget.
Nice. And you can always spend a coin to do extra downtimes as well if you
Yeah.
are desperate.
Yeah.
Seemingly no limit. Rules as written.
Yeah, all right.
How we take the take the letter quest then?
Oh, the side quest.
Yes, I'm very intrigued.
Track it. Little marker pops up on the map.
Bing.
Meet.
You have to shuffle out all the other markers that you actually don't want.
Yep. Meet Saffron at Emporium. First step of the quest.
I go to my bed and press enter to sleep for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Till the quest is ready.
We see the time
Silas
lapse
comes
of the light outside the window, like not changing.
Just like a slight glow goes.
Yeah.
Silas will come to rouse Saffron, who has overslept for the appointment. But anyone would probably easily notice that Silas is ready for war. He's not in like all this heavy armor and stuff, but you can see that he's got his sword and he's got his thing and he's got like pistols in his jacket that he doesn't usually have, and He's just like weirdly over-prepared.
You seem ready for action. Luckily, I've had my wheelchair plugged into my wall socket all night, so it's an EV charger, so it's fully charged. I won't bring too much else, but with my gadgets and whiz bags, we should be okay if we need support.
That'll give me 2 whole miles of drive.
Then kicks in.
It always pays to be prepared, but if my suspicions are confirmed, someone may have to die today. I would, of course, hope not, but
Is that why you're
just
bringing
be
me?
ready. No, I should hope it won't be you, Saffron. At least not by my hand.
Well, that's the best assurance I can have in this place. Let's move. I'm with you.
All right. Let me just quickly grab an asset that I need from my drive. But you follow the note to where the meeting location is set. Silas, what are you expecting if it is Grace?
I think he'd be quite unsure what to expect, because he probably would have told Grace if he whenever he realized he'd been done, that he'd kill her the next time he saw her, and he'd have no idea why, even though obviously there is some reasoning given in the letter, why she would want to reach out to him. So I think just suspicion would be the main thing, but surely the letter would have struck something of a chord with him as he finds himself considering that he's starting to feel like he's having some purpose. So I think it's like intrigue, but mostly suspicion.
Yeah, because you're like in a different part of your life, stage of your life now, so maybe things are different.
Maybe you won't enjoy my life again.
Maybe, you're in a different place on your healing journey.
Silas on a healing journey.
Maybe you guys need Karamo to come and help you guys out.
The only person who's truly on a healing journey is Saffron.
That is true.
That is actually true.
A literal healing journey.
He's got so
Only
much
one
heal.
that started off more fucked up than he is now.
It's true, actually. Slightly better.
Got
Our
better.
friendship, guys. Got better.
Right. So you end up in a place called Reynard's Coffee House.
Oh.
And you did not know there was a coffee house in Crow's Foot. You probably didn't even know what coffee was. But
No,
suddenly...
we can grow coffee in this climate.
Yeah. But
That's nice.
like someone living in a newly gentrified area, you realize that it's suddenly not for you, this land. This area is not for you, and it's too expensive. And you both go in. I'm assuming, Saffron, you could get up those little steps with the wheelchair.
Yes. Oh, again, he's still not totally infirmed. He can walk if he needs to be. It's
A
just,
little bit of help from Silas.
Yeah,
Yep.
the preferred way of getting around.
And sure enough, you see sat at a table in one of the corners, Grace, the extortionist. And there is an official picture with an official name.
Charlie's Theron.
Look at that.
It's Grace Ashford, aka Ashes.
Ashes, that's a cool name.
I think she looks more like Natalie Portman, actually.
Well, you can see how she conned him.
Bit of ScarJo, I guess.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I think that Charlize Theron is the best guess so far. And she is sitting with none other than Timoth, your patron of the
That's
Sparkcraft
fantastic.
Guild.
That was the other note we didn't quite get to, was need to catch up with our patron Timoth.
Mhm.
Ta-da!
What do you do?
But perhaps Saffron could notice that probably having spent some time with Silas, what the signs of Silas trying to control his temper are. Just, he's not about to fly into a rage, but he's probably doing some breathing exercises and looking a bit tense.
I'm going to trigger Saffron.
Saffron suddenly realizes, why have I not been kind of crafting a new chemical that's just like just for an accent for Silas? Give him a little jab with something.
Well, I suppose Saffron be ready for anything. It was not on my agenda this evening to destroy this fine coffee house, but I have no idea what she will want.
Still unsure what this establishment is selling. It doesn't seem very either mushroom or porridge related to me, so I'm a bit unclear. But this is, I see Timoth are a wonderful, wonderful patron, so I can see you're bracing for action. But if you cannot control yourself around whoever this daring-looking woman is, perhaps think of the crew and how important our patronage is. That can keep you calm and let logic prevail, dear boy.
Thank you, Saffron. Your advice is sage as ever. Let's get on with it then, eh?
One of the waiting staff come over, and they're like, 2 grande fungis.
Is grande your biggest or your medium? I'm not sure.
Venti is the biggest, obviously, because it's 20 ounces of fungi.
But it isn't, Olly. It isn't 20 ounces, is it?
I don't know what an ounce is.
A fluid ounce or a solid ounce?
I do my coffee in grams like a normal person.
African or European swallow?
What? I don't know.
Robusta or Arabica bean? Mushroom. Sorry, a Robusta mushroom. 100% Arabica mushroom. Served here. Nice, yes. So you're standing there enraged. Do you say anything?
Within control. I think Silas will lead on and have that very sort of typical rivalesque meeting where he goes, Grace?
She clearly is enjoying seeing you having an internal meltdown just at the sight of her. She says, well, Templeton, nice to see you again.
He twitches, but eventually manages to say, I'm quite sure I said if I saw you again I would kill you, so I do hope you have a good reason for bringing us here.
Saffron tries to break the tension with a Wolf, old man. Good to see you. How goes the Sparkcraft business?
Oh yeah, he had a little Sparkcraft note-taking hand, didn't he, on his shoulder?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it a light? I can't remember.
It was a light. Yeah, it was like yeah.
Oh, light for
the
reading
back
his
thing. Yes.
notes whilst he was
Yes.
moving around the dimly lit streets. Yes. Yeah, he's also sort of like clearly not prepared for this. Wasn't informed that this would have been such a meeting. There's our Monkshood. Nice to see you again. Now, please, take up a couple of seats.
Oh, please, knees are creaking.
My mutual acquaintance, Grace, has filled me in on your history, and well, I believe there's something we can all benefit from.
I agree. I am also new to this relationship. Perhaps it seems like, Grace, you might want to tell us why we're all here.
Let me just double check. Okay, cool. She says, well, when I saw Templeton down the docks beating 10 shits out of the billhooks, it got me thinking that maybe we have a bit of a common enemy. You see, the professor here, Timoth, what was his surname again, Mikey? Do you remember?
It's in the notes. Timoth
Control
Maradon.
Control F. Timoth
Control F,
Maradon.
Timoth.
Professor Maradon here. He may have already told you he has a particular interest in the Sparkcraft imports coming in from the docks from overseas. And but what you may not know is that the North Hook Company have taken it upon themselves to have a monopoly on any incoming Sparkcraft technology. They seem to believe it's their right by Duskfall, the Ministry of Preservation, to make sure that Sparkcraft is not falling into others' hands who may not use it for the greater good.
Saffron's eye kind of twitches at the thought of like all the Sparkcraft being stowed away, unattainable.
However, it seems like everyone around this table would benefit from Sparkcraft being more freely available on the open market. And since you're already seemingly in the process of tackling the docks as an area, initiating a power shift, perhaps there is some mutual beneficial benefits we can have to tackling this problem together.
Without being too forward, and not knowing you very well indeed, what do you get out of this, Grace? What's your want for Sparkcraft?
Well, I'm not necessarily after the Sparkcraft, but I am very interested in the remunerations from the Sparkcraft Guild for allowing the free movement of Sparkcraft technology once again.
I believe what she means there, Saffron, is that she will stab anyone in the back for the right coin.
I mean, it sounds like our kind of people, Silas. I'm not sure why there's such tension between you two.
I think, surprising himself, he laughs at that one. Like, he didn't want to laugh during this meeting. He's very mad, but you know when something really does break the tension.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He says, now, Templeton, if I stab you in the back again, at least you will be richer for it this time.
I find the notion deeply comforting. But I must say, we've had a few less profitable jobs, and this Sparkcraft import does seem to fit the bill for future operations.
Timoth sort of looks around and says, yes, I've just been sips on his fungicino. He says, yes, I've been having a lovely time here, learning of Grace's activities down at the docks, the way she finds information. Truly fascinating, this underworld of Duskfall. The power, the unlimited potential of such characters. Why she was just telling me before you arrived how she lures in these sort of foolish pilgrims from other cities who still cling to ideas of gods and spirits who will save them, and delivers them into the hands of the waiting billhooks. Quite ingenious, I must say.
It certainly sounds like Grace has not changed. Not a bit. Any opportunity for coin? Certainly at the hands of those who are less fortunate in our great city.
Well, it has to be done, but excuse me, you work for the billhooks? Or just as
I
a
don't think you're
one-off?
getting it, Saffron. Grace works for anybody.
Templeton's got the size of it. Yes, it's not that good money, but well, it's decent enough, and it gets me close to the billhooks, which may serve us all in the end.
The plan is forming. So, we're aware of a shipment. We don't want to necessarily make ourselves mortal enemies of the North Hook Embassy. Wait, no,
Company.
wrong word.
Company.
What did you say?
Company.
At day one. So we'll need to formulate more of a cunning plan. about how we interfere with their business. But yes, this must be stopped. We can't allow them to own the trade. So of course we can see why this would affect your student. You must, if they're already working on this, you must have some connections or communications with the North Hook, some discussions, some leverage.
He says, "Well, I must say, Saffron, I knew your interest in the politics of Duskfall whenever that peaked back when we were studying together. But you really must learn up if you are to be swimming in these waters, because you would know that the Ministry of Preservation are no friend of the Sparkcraft Guild. The clue is in the name. They want to keep things as they are. They want to keep the people in place, whereas the Sparkcraft Guild would see the humble, average Duskfallian person elevated. Who knows, even one day, every man, woman, and child will have access to a Sparkcraft microwave. Near instant cooking of their mushrooms.
Hover shoes.
I must say, I am sold on the idea of using this job opportunity as a route to not only bill hooks, but also bring something a little more prosperous to those down at the docks. It's hard labor down there, and they'd like to have a microwave.
Well, my only worry would be, of course, that the damn idiot who starts microwaving some fish on lunch break. We might make a few enemies if we do bring that about.
I like the idea that people in Duskfall are like, it's like are as mad about air fryers as they are, but it's microwaves. They're one step behind. But anyone who has one will tell you it's so good. It's so good.
The microwave. You could do 4 different settings.
You could do anything in it.
I have an air fryer. It's fine.
And the fact that it's the first time we're hearing about it makes you a good human.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can get one if you want. If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not your identity.
But it's so good, and you should definitely do it anyway.
Best thing since sliced bread, mate.
Oh no, it isn't. Bread's way better, sliced or unsliced.
Sliced fungal bread.
I would rather never have any kind of cooking measures, but always have bread.
If we could get a supply of that Maltese sourdough bread, that would be with that crust.
Steering me up.
Oh, well, that and the crust in the crusty one.
Yeah, what's the Duskfall equivalent of a pistachio croissant?
Fatira.
Pistachio mushroom.
Yeah.
Pistachio mushroom.
Do
they have pistachios in Duskfall?
Oh, this mushroom creamer is completely filling this croissant. Amazing.
Delicious mushroom bean dip.
I only had a sample of one. I never had the full shebang.
Yeah.
So a smuggling operation, is it?
Bean dip and whiskey goes hand in hand.
Oh yes, it did.
I'm still unclear on the exact specifics, but we can tidy these up in the interim. But it was clear as we all have a common goal, a shared interest, and enough connections to make this dream a reality.
Yes.
I suppose we shall have to confer with the rest of the Emporium.
Of course.
But certainly a tempting offer, and I'm sure you shall let us know where to find you or contact you next. Probably need that information, you being such a slippery character.
Well, I like the Milo wants to kill an NPC for a change.
Yeah. To be fair, I did it to myself because this is the one that Milo had to put down as the one he actually does hate, 100%.
I think Silas is being quite well behaved.
I'm sorry. Are you saying it's better if we set down characters we don't like as part of our backstory with a rich interwoven tapestry rather than just arbitrarily deciding halfway through a campaign we don't like them?
Or as soon as you meet them.
It's that one.
I was like, should I bring back Flint? No, because Saffron will shoot him, and then that'll be a waste of my time.
Silas also wants to shoot him.
It's true. Nobody likes Flint.
Well, it looks like we may have a score on our hands. But I also want to see Lorenzo go and talk to the secret Vincetti.
Well, I like having a menu of options, so yes, I definitely want to see.
A journal, you might say, of quests.
Nice. I thought of another little goal for Lorenzo as well.
Mm.
Go have a chat with old Bear, who's being kept in a spirit bottle by the Dimmer sisters.
Ooh.
You
Just,
don't know if he is.
Well, that's where he last was.
Mm.
So
That's
very
how-
much
You're
want to hash it
gonna go
out.
over there and be like, "Hey, Bear, how's it going?" And he's gonna be like, "Fuck you, man." What are you doing
In a
here?
bottle.
We could have been something special. My mind, your body, will it?
Or maybe he will offer his body.
He hasn't got a
Maybe
body.
he's longing for a possession again. He feels empty without being possessed.
Maybe you can find him a new body, yeah. Put him in Flint's body.
That's the perfect crime.
Turn Flint into a vampire.
That sounds awful, actually. It'd be a permanent problem then.
I mean, that is a punishment to fit the crime of soul trading.
Justice.
Indeed.
Anyway. Well,
Very good.
interesting times ahead.
Oh yes.
I see the mind map doing its job here.
Yeah, it's actually worth doing. If anyone wants a GMing tip, it's good to know to work shit out. Every now and again.
Noted.
Alright, team. Catch you next
Lovely.
time.
Good Sash. Good to
Good
catch up.
hustle.
Sweet.
Alright,
Thanks, Ollie. Really enjoying these threads.
nice. Cool.
Yeah,
sort
lots
of
of threads to
entertaining.
pull on. That was a nice chatty RP session. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers, lads.